Because in my company, I was getting $4.50 to take them out, when I was doing the job.
Right.
And I was $37.50 to do a tank, $12.50 to take your tank out, why? Because I'm responsible for it.
Correct.
And town of Bellingham is really, the EPA is really okay with it.
Yeah.
And we're gonna cut them, treat it, dispose everything properly, which I do, right, and that. And it's just, it's expensive, they give you 55-gallon drum.
Right.
And it's $50 to dispose of it.
Right.
Each tank trip is 7 gallons of sludge,
Right.
so.
Hopefully.
Oh, that's the average,
Yeah.
that's the average,
Okay.
and this, I got 30 tanks in my yard, because I can't hire people to come.
Right.
I had a scrap guy come down, and clean out all my tanks that were cut, oh, I'll do it for you, it's good. When you cut
Oh, yeah,
three,
long
put them down, they mark it credit.
Yeah.
Well, instead of getting $40 a tank, you get 12, well,
Time
that's,
this
I went up to $4.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
That's,
You know what I?
Even 40's not.
yeah,
He said, I want $70 a tank, I do it, okay.
it took a while.
Yeah, so I told him I did, it's almost $50 a tank. Wait, I can go, everybody's so picture.
Right.
Yeah, no,
Okay. That was good.
it was a long process, but,
Yeah.
I stayed on top of it.
Oh, he's 71.
75.
Hi, Laura.
3/4.
Right, I'm still going.
Yeah, it's good.
Mine's going.
Yeah.
I'm going.
Here, Laura,
I
can you
put it-
hear us
I
okay?
put it on, like a dolly rolling over.
Yeah.
Golden thing.
Yeah.
And then
What was that? Go ahead.
I said, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. I just wanna make sure the speaker's working, cause, so Karen told me that the speakers are, the overhead speakers aren't working. So that's why she pulled that up. So that's what that little thing is. So when Laura talks, we just
then you
have
gotta
to
get all this.
really listen.
Yeah, I can do it.
So that she's kind of like away from us, but we should be good.
You gotta do it on the job stuff. With insurance, I'll cut it, I'm making it $2.
Right.
Who's responsible for that tank? Who's responsible for that lady's kid comes out and gets cut? Responsible, somebody falls on and dies.
Right.
Because you're sharp edges, I'm not gonna correct them.
Yeah, right.
It's
It is a small.
stupidity, but.
Ready?
Number one.
Okay.
Make motion to adjourn.
Okay, being 7 o'clock, I'd like to open the I'd like to open the meeting for the Bellingham Board of Health for July 15th. Myself, Tim Forty's chair, vice chair Rick Gilberti, member Richard Montanelli, member Elena Almeida, member Debbie Bush, health agent Bill Labonte, minutes clerk Laura No. Yes, the first order of business is opening the public hearing on proposed livestock regulations. So can I have a motion to open the public hearing?
I'd like to make a motion, we start a public hearing for proposed livestock regulations.
Second.
Okay.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so the public hearing is officially open. Dylan, do you want to read the excerpt of the public hearing that we're going to be voting on?
Yeah, Town of Bellingham Board of Health will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, July 15th, 2025 at 7:00 PM in the Arcan Meeting Room located at the Municipal Center, 10 Mechanic Street, Bellingham, Massachusetts, 02019, to receive comments on the Board of Health's proposed livestock regulation. Full text of the proposed regulations may be viewed at the Board of Health office or the Town Clerk office located at the Municipal Center during regular Municipal Center business hours. Any further questions, please contact the Office of the Board of Health.
Okay, so there is no public hearing, so I'm gonna give people like how much minutes they have to discuss it, whatever. So I guess,
Can you just tell us what the changes are?
Really, the only change, just to highlight, want to flip to it. So page 6 on there. You'll see, under section F, facts and property acreage. That's really the big change, is that, the numbers of animals that folks are going to be allowed is going to be based off of acreage size. And, any sort of variances to that would require, those folks to come in front of us for a hearing, for us to approve of, their keeping of animals.
I make a motion that we close the public hearing and take a vote.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, so carried, okay.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the changes that we just outlined.
How did we come up with?
Admittedly, I took them from another town.
Oh,
Yeah, I
You could
didn't,
explain to her what we had as the original regulation, which was basically mostly dealt with chicken. But we did have other people at times dealing with pigs in the residential zone.
The other regulation essentially didn't explicitly outline numbers. And so that's when we were having that issue with fixing the bylaw because the numbers were identified in the bylaw. Once we did that in the most recent town meeting, now we can enact these regulations so that we can actually put control on those numbers because previously there was no. The only control was just the fact that the bylaw said anyone in town can only keep up to 9 chickens, 2 goats.
okay.
So what I did was I think these are roughly based off of Medways. That was kind of the framework that I used, but I obviously got it looked over by KP Law, our legal counsel. So they like redlined it, crossed their T's, dotted their I's, made sure everything was good on here. And made sure we covered all our bases, and this is what we came up with.
I
So
guess the only other question, Rick would address this in other regulations we had is, we did say at town meeting that anybody with an existing permit, as long as there's no violations of it, can have 9, even if they have a 1/8 acre, right?
So I think
But how do we handle that? If
So
someone
my
comes in and says,
suggestion-
hey, I just moved into a house in the acre.
my suggestion is that someone, who currently has a permit, they would be grandfathered in,
Okay,
but that is under the impression that, they're not sustaining that number of chickens. So for example, you start with 9,
Right.
but
3 guys.
3 die, you don't go and get 3 more.
okay,
It's not like your capacity stays at 9. It's
Correct.
that once you're grandfathered, but once you lose those animals and you
Right.
get under that number and you're now following the reg, you can't go back up.
fine, perfect, okay.
Do they have to remove?
Yeah, so it's an annual renewal. The other thing that was briefly discussed, I didn't have the time to get it into this regulation. But it was mentioned in the office was, currently our keeping of animals permits are free. So it doesn't cost homeowners anything. They literally just have to apply. One idea that came up that I just would like to float is that the permit becomes a $25 permit. So it's not breaking the bank, but it's enough that you're still responsible. And the cost of that permit would go towards paying Laura or Michelle $10 per inspection to actually go out and physically inspect the coops because I don't have enough time in the day to do it.
Right.
And they said that they're willing to do it.
Fine.
It's just I would like to see
And they
them
would go all
paid. And so I would have to figure out the finances behind that. I don't know if we have to open another revolving fund or something like that, because that's kind of what we're similar doing with food and tobacco.
Right.
But that was another thing that I just kind of want to float.
I make a motion that we start charging $25.
Can't do that here, we haven't voted on the last motion.
Yeah, so should the 25 cover, you think, or you still?
I think so, because my idea is that, it covers your initial inspection when you pull it. It covers a re-inspection in case you get anything. And then the additional 5 is just,
Okay.
it's additional
Because
coverage,
originally I thought it was
you
50 initially.
because there's gonna be that one person that needs to get inspected 3 times. So the 5 from the extra permits covered, stuff like that.
Great. We have the first motion, still on floor.
Correct.
She questioned that.
Right.
Every second of it.
Right.
And did it come to a vote yet?
It didn't.
I don't believe so.
Okay, well, no, Rick made the motion.
Before we can have another motion on the floor, we have to. start
Right,
with
okay, yes, so,
But if his motion was to accept the proposal
His
and
proposal.
everything, his proposal, are we gonna add the fee?
No.
no, we'll do that.
That's after
It has
that.
to be 2 separate.
So, okay, so where we had a second,
Questions. So we're asking the question for the.
before we went to that, you asked for some guy, okay, so all those in favor of the first part of the second there? In favor of the
So now,
regulation?
so now we're voting on.
The regulations as written.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstains, okay.
Thanks. All right, thank you.
Now, I'd like to make a motion that we start charging $25 fee for an animal permit, and out of that 25, $10 goes to the inspector for each coop.
Second, it goes, amendment to the motion that starts August first, 2025.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstains, okay. Okay.
That's pretty much it for the livestock, Rick.
Okay, so,
Thank you.
so we have minutes from,
I make a motion that we accept the
17th.
minutes from June 17th, 2025 as typed.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstains, okay. Okay, so Mia, new business, annual membership. I did tell Laura that I think we should, since Dylan, Rick, and I have gone to several Mia things, I think we should stay members of that organization. We get Title V training, and there is other training, but we've been doing Title V. so. There may be some other things in there that you people will be interested in.
It would be a really good, place for, I would say you especially, to just, even if it's just coming to a conference.
Right.
Because one thing that they do is like, even though everyone in there is a septic contractor, they
Right.
always kind of break down septic in a very basic way.
Right.
They get into everything, so it's kind of, I think that would be a good place to kind of learn.
And they do have other public health stuff, there's some.
Yeah, there's a ton of other public health stuff, because it's not just Title V, there's the Massachusetts Environmental Health Association.
Right, so,
So it's kind of everything encompassing.
And
environmental
according
health.
to the notes, there's your new members on the board,
Right.
it's free for the
Free.
first year.
yeah, and I told Laura, I said, put us three in, and
I would like to, yeah,
Right.
us three.
yeah, and then the other two members, I said, put them in, because they're free. So if you list your names, then
What's the date? What's the date?
right.
Oh, you're thinking, okay, we're talking about, you're jumping ahead.
Okay,
We're talking about just
being
you
members.
being a member of the organization, you're looking at the content.
Yeah.
The conference, that is
September 10th?
September 10th through 12th
Right.
in Plymouth.
That's the same one that we did last time? You think so much?
I don't think so. I think that's
Is it not
actually.
Title V itself?
So
No.
Laura, where you had memberships, you have three there,
Three, four.
and two new members are free. So it gives us 5 members on the, let's say their membership.
And then Dylan goes, right?
And Dylan goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So it'll be 6.
it'll be 6, correct, yeah. Thanks, Rick. Okay, so,
Yeah, so the other thing, I guess, with that is the conference, whether or not folks, because you guys don't really have to worry about it, it's more so.
right,
Want to learn.
Well, I'm not saying the conference, I'm saying the membership. You
Yeah.
guys don't have to worry about it because it's free.
Right.
We already have the money in the budget, it's not like it's coming out of anything.
correct.
So we're already, it's more so just that we're agreeing to be members, now it's just, we talk about, yeah, that conference, I think, Rick, you said you already looked into it, you're going.
I'd like to go.
I think I'm gonna try and go as long as I have. So,
So would, let's, second question.
yeah, Plymouth Harbor.
Right, but are you gonna go for the 3 days and try commute, or are you gonna hotel it?
I'm gonna hotel it.
You guys find your hotel.
I think I'm gonna hotel it.
I'm not coming
Back,
back.
give me your hotel.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
I think I'm gonna hotel, if anything, honestly, I'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that, okay, so, Laura, I guess you can put in for Rick, Dylan, and Richard, I'm not sure yet, to me, when, well,
Debbie said you're gone.
Yeah.
That means you're gone.
oh, September 10th to 12th.
Yeah. I gotta, I'll think about it and talk to my family.
Okay.
Of course,
Okay,
yeah.
So
Well,
who
when do
did you
we-
say was going to the conference?
well, the full 3 day is $450 for the conference. And then, I don't know what the early, what's the rate for the
So it would be the 10th for the night, 11th for the night.
So it's a
So you
GSA.
check out on the
1:30 at
12th.
night.
Right.
So it's
And I-
120 two
The
nights.
cost of the room is only 126 a night, which is a really good rate if you're staying over.
2 nights for
Well,
Yeah.
the,
1, 2,
be 7,
3,
10 a person.
4, 5, 6. Okay.
7, 10 a person.
Oh, okay, so it'd be 710 a person.
I make a motion that we spend $710 a person on the Yankee
Second.
conference.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, so carried. Okay. We do get SIs, and you never should, SIs, that's to get back to SEs, so that evaluate. So even though we just renewed,
It's credit hours towards your
you have to have them
certification.
by the next.
You don't have to worry
cycle.
about it if you don't have the certification yet, but when you ever wanna get them, you can get them.
Right.
And then you can keep going to conferences,
For continuing it.
getting your hours.
Credit hours.
That's how you keep the
Certification.
certification. But Laura, as, just so you know, so we made a motion for the money to be allotted for the 6 of us to go. We just have to get back to you on 100% confirmation that we can.
Yeah.
But we did allot the money for it.
You go.
Okay, great. And then you get the reduced rate if we do it before August 1st, I think.
I'm a little slow.
We get the reduced rate if we decide before August 1st.
Correct, okay.
So we got 16 days.
16 days, okay.
You know, maybe next weekend.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just get it into me.
Laura, can you get back to everybody and make sure that everybody's on the same page, so we don't miss the early bird rate?
Yeah, I'll make sure.
Okay, thank you.
Can I bring my wife?
Yes. I was gonna bring my girlfriend. That's what I was gonna mention. I was gonna say, I'm gonna make it a little vacation.
Right.
I was gonna say, I think it was gonna be a vacation for me away from.
Good for you. Good for you. Honestly, hey. Well, you have 2 young kids, so you need that.
Actually, Dylan,
There you go.
later, that thing that came in for you, that was an intern in dietetics, I think you should, later on, give that as health agent, recall.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff, but later, whatever. So anyway, next item of business is, chemical hazardous waste spill. What happened was a tanker truck got hit by an automobile. Driver was cited, but anyway, and approximately between 381 and 421 South Main Street, right, a vacant lot between, I don't know, it used to be, whatever that guy's name was, Delpy. I think it was Delpy. Anyway, the bottom line was, Board of Health was not contacted. I always said, anytime it's reportable spill, yeah, Dylan will add it, okay. And he'll fill in the information.
Is that what his
why.
student guy is on the road?
Yeah. But the thing I didn't like is,
So,
okay,
so Vinny makes me aware of this. I reached out to the chief. I just emailed the chief and I just said, hey, I heard of like an accident that occurred. We didn't get Chief Miller, sorry, the fire chief. Yeah. So I reached out to the fire chief and I said, hey, I heard that there was some spill of diesel fuel at a accident. We didn't get any notification, but I know in the past, Chief Miller has called DEP on behalf of me. He's just beat me to it before.
Right.
So I was like, was this just one of those scenarios? Can you explain to me what happened? Just let me know. And his response was, yes, there was an accident with a significant fuel spill. Yes, DEP was notified along with the cleanup company, NEDT, from the trucking company that had the accident. And his words were that BOH would not need to be notified as this happened on a roadway and falls under the DEP, who will oversee the cleanup, which they are. As for cleaning up, NEDT worked under the direct supervision of DEP, which directed them to dig up contaminated soil, cover the area with poly, place unopened speedy dry bags to hold the plastic in place while they monitor the area that was excavated. As for any drums that may still be on site, they contain the speedy dry that was applied by the fire department and will remain on site until they find a disposal facility to take. As for paperwork, once the DEP arrives on site of a roadway spill, they take over and jurisdiction falls under them, and we will not receive any paperwork for months or potentially years until the case is completely closed. This is all legal and normal process.
In the past, though, we've always been notified.
Yeah.
And, it's ironic, there was a major rainstorm right after the spill. There was no poly there. I don't even know what the excavator, the poly's now there.
Yeah, I mean,
Whatever.
I can't comment on it
Right.
because I wasn't there.
Right.
I didn't know that it happened.
But according to the chief, DEP is in charge.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Correct.
DEP took over, so that's it. You know?
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I think that's,
Okay. that's fine.
DEP's handling it, so.
Okay.
Aquatic lake testing, I was
Yeah.
gonna say, that one,
Okay, I'll go along with that for now. Do it next time.
Yeah.
Whatever.
so,
I just
There
thought that
was-
we should get a report.
well, they don't, the thing is.
No, I'm saying
DEP
is-
I hear you, but
Right.
DEP isn't gonna, if there's no report generated, we can't demand
Right.
something.
No, they're gonna wait there until that.
And DEP respectfully, since they're so high above us, if
Right.
we go in there and try to demand a report, you know what they're gonna say to
Right.
us? Done.
Nothing, they work for the town.
Yeah, I mean,
Public works, it's the town.
Yeah, no,
well, I'm just thinking like,
So
they're,
if you went in there and say, hey, listen, we see that we had a spill, can we get a copy of what actually happened? And when they say.
like an
why-
accident report, I think we
Right.
probably
I'm
can.
talking about the amount of spillage.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
yeah,
What spilled?
what's been,
What-
that is
what
what I want
exactly-
to report, that
What
has to be in a
exactly,
folder.
because they closed the road though.
Right.
They closed it from the whole thing, you couldn't come either way.
I know, but what he says, the chief says in this, that any paperwork might not come for months, potentially years,
Correct.
until the case is proved.
But you can still find out what it was.
What was spilled, how much?
Well, I bet the police department has an accident report,
Okay.
I could probably just reach
Yeah.
out, I could
Reach
reach
out
out
and see
to
if we
the
have that.
police and see if I can. get
because
something.
they had to respond.
Yeah.
It's a motor vehicle accident.
Right.
This other stuff with the spill goes under the fire department,
Yeah.
but the accident's police.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm sure we can get that copy.
That might be good information to have, and as I asked Laura to set up was, we need a folder like when there's potentially stuff that can affect groundwater,
Like an
because we are
accident-
responsible for
Like an
groundwater.
accidents folder.
And this pollutant goes downstream to it, and that means anybody on, I don't think there's any wells there, but that's not a, how do I say it? We say, oh, there's no wells, we don't care about it. No, it goes into the wetlands down near the, what we call walking trail, and it contaminates right into Blackstone. And if somebody wants to go and say like, well, it occurred on Bellingham, what was spilled? And nobody knows. That's
I
not
don't
the
think
way
it's
we
asked the
can
question,
be
what,
informing the public, right?
the
to
thing
know.
I hope is we should be able to walk up to these people and say, I'd like that information.
Leading into that,
It'd be nice to them.
leading into that, or it might be old business. Laura, when that company called about 205 Hartford Avenue, somebody asked me, is that the gas station? I said, I have no idea. But somebody did a request for records, which it's over 10 days now. So whatever transpired with that request for,
Oh, good. I don't,
well, it was in the last package, it was, I said, somebody said, I may have just responded to you, Laura, but I was wondering, we only had 10 days to produce it. Second of all, what was it? So if we had had a spill report, because it's an environmental company looking to probably do a 21E for a site, we need to know anything that spills on a site, whether it's residential, commercial,
It's an oversight, yeah.
yes, to certain things. So I'm saying, if you don't have those records, technically you can't inform the public and you fail as a board of health for the public right to know. Fire department's there for things that can ignite, things that can react. Police department's there for keeping the flow of vehicles or people out of the zone. But the board of health's responsible for groundwater protection and the right to know. So if you have no idea what's spilled, I'm going like, a lawyer would eat this alive. They'd say, really, you're supposed to know this stuff.
Because we don't.
Someone comes in and said, well, we don't have a folder on it. We don't know what happened. We're supposed to. I don't know if it's a service station, because there were a few things there that were cleaned up by Sunoco prior to that.
Let's sold now.
Anyway, so I don't know
I
what's,
sold it one.
what,
I sold it one. It's another station.
right, okay, but what I'm saying is, I didn't know what 205 Hartford was.
I don't know. off the top of my head, right?
Laura, can you just pull that up, and for the next meeting, just find out what happened, what they got, and just having the report, okay? So the next order of business is,
Aquatic lake.
aquatic lake testing, okay, so,
I did some research
Yeah,
on this with another community that does the same thing, who has the same facility. And I spoke with, the conservation administrator in the town of North Attleboro. They were having one pond that they have done the same day that Silver Lake was done here.
Right.
And I had asked her to explain a little bit about the process. They had advertised in their local paper about doing this, and they were told that they had a 5-day period from the time of this notice or the time the testing was done for any drinking, cooking, anything along those natures to be done after the treatment was done. She said swimming, they don't really impose the whole 5 days because the way they treat the vegetation is down in the roots. And it's down so far that swimming is so far away from it that it doesn't affect the swimming. Fishing, yes, because you fish down below. Irrigation the same way. That's why they have a tendency to kind of be hesitant about a longer period of waiting time for that. They don't test the water or run water tests after they do that because number one, it's very expensive to do for the chemicals that they use, and there are not many facilities that will actually test your water for that. The Board of Health does not do that. The only testing that they do of the swimming areas is for E. coli on a regular basis, on a weekly basis during the summer period. So what I did was I copied the advertisement, if you wanted to take a look at it, that North Attleboro put in the,
Okay.
in the,
yeah, no, sure.
I should have.
Oh, there's 2 in there. Okay,
Is that the one there?
okay.
And they use a company out of Grafton, Mass. There aren't too many companies that actually do this. I think she said there's only 2 in Massachusetts that will actually do this type of work. So I thought it was interesting that, you know, if the Board of Health does work with conservation on notification, they know ahead of time when this is gonna be done.
Yeah.
But as far as that goes, that they just kind of they let them do their thing, and conservation has always done it because it's considered wetlands
Yeah.
in that area, so they can't go wrong with that.
I was more concerned about the kids swimming and drinking water.
Right, and they were, you know, like she said, the distance is so far away, but even
How
what
many
she
parts
said
per
in
million?
there, but she said in there, they do 5 days.
Right, how many parts per million is that treatment through water? Okay, and when you get to that, how much water we have to the chemical, and it comes to basically, the science
Right,
of what we're doing.
Right.
And it comes down to,
I mean, down even.
I mean, you
with-
put chlorine in your pool, you can't let your kids go in the pool right away.
Correct.
Right,
Because if you shock your pool or whatever, you put the chlorine in,
Right.
they go in, they swallow it, they get sick. It's this natural phenomenon of the chemical.
what she said.
And it burns
about-
the eyes. The eyes
And
are
I
very.
understand the thing that this is more for the
Right.
stuff in the bottom, but it's still gonna get there. When we treat, poison ivy,
Right.
or poison oak, or poison sumac, and just spray it on ants or termites or whatever, and you spray your foundation, you spray everything. The first thing the company told me when they come to do my ant things, is no dogs, no animals outside for a day.
Mhm.
And if it rains, 2 days. You know, just let it be. And that's my guy. I don't have animals, so I don't care, but I mean, it comes down to what happens. And how you know what the results are. So I decided with Vinny on that day, and I said, I'm gonna really close to 2 more days, let me get you right.
Well, that's,
I don't want, for the sake of having one child get sick.
Right.
I believe that we should look at close. And I understand that they opened it up as well.
Right.
But I mean, as far as I'm concerned, there's gonna be more brought to this board so that we know the chemical, the breakdown of the chemical to the water. And I'm not a chemist, so it's gonna be done in layman's term that says, hey, we're gonna put 300 gallons because we estimate the lake having 25,000 gallons. We're gonna put 3 gallons, and that's gonna be the chemical that we're gonna use to.
I have a
fix the problem.
suggestion, but
Well, the other thing too, like Debbie mentioned, theirs is very far away from the swimming at Whiting's Pond.
Right,
How far is the treatment zone
I know,
to the swim zone?
I know it's fairly far, but I was gonna say, considering we're all at this point asking a lot of hypotheticals.
Right.
Do you think it would be worth it to try to get a contact for the actual company? Cause I know I think Hannah's been the one who's dealing with them directly.
Correct.
So maybe I'm wondering if I could get a contact from them and have them come into
I'd
one,
hand them.
I think that.
or Hannah.
I'd hand them.
Here's what happened.
Well, I was thinking of having someone from their company come in and explain how to treat.
That would be
I
good.
think
I'd
that
like
would
to
be
be
good.
educated.
Just so that,
I think that would be good.
because I'm, at
We
this
have a
point,
Connecticut company, why don't we have them Zoom
Or
at the
Zoom it.
next meeting?
yeah, have them zoom into the next
Right.
meeting and just give us a 15-minute presentation as to how the heck this stuff works so that we can understand it better and make
Here's the other
regulations.
thing too, is,
I have a question too. If I remember correctly, we were like done late, but how, like, what's like the window for like if people start swimming like June 1st, like to keep it like, you know what I'm saying, protected?
Yeah, so the way I understand it, is that the timing on it is really more so related, not as much to the safety part of it, but is more so pertaining to the effectiveness of the treatment.
Yeah.
So they really wanna start it early because it's more effective early, but where this season it started late, it wasn't as effective. In
Right.
fact, I actually went down and was doing the water sampling this week, and one of the lifeguards stopped me on the beach and was talking to me about how they were like, yeah, I feel like the algaecide treatment didn't really do anything, kids are coming out like small. So I'm almost like,
well, they treated
like,
way down the lake. I don't think the chemicals, which is good, I guess, maybe got down to the algae
Yeah.
where we sample the water. That said, two other little tidbits. They're going to do a
spot treatment.
spot treatment on the 25th. So Dennis called me, he said, listen, I said, well, I says, fine, you're spraying on the lily pads. I said, you know, Dennis, I said, I have a great chemical environmental background. I said, so I enabled you, even though it is treatment burning. I said, Dylan and I will be down there with binoculars to check out the water. If there's a sheen that rolls towards the swimming area, everybody's out.
Yeah.
And that's the way I'm gonna play it. I said, so if it's a oil substance, you spray it on the top. When it moves down there, that's the chemical. And it isn't diluted if it's on the lily pad, because it's a floater. The other stuff goes deep. I still agree with Rick that you should know what the concentration is out there,
There should be a time
right? And you
period
know,
to wait
or-
to allow people
Right.
to drink.
Right.
And everything
That's right.
untreated water.
but here's what I'm also saying is, and I spoke to Dennis about this, I said, listen, this year, okay, it became a real mess. I said, but in the future, I said, you will treat on the 10th. Well, first of all, I didn't know when the swimming started. Swimming starts when they can get lifeguards, which is the 23rd of June. I said, every year, he said it'll be the 23rd.
Yep.
You cannot go in the water without a lifeguard.
Right.
I would say that is, who's policing that? I don't know. But what I'm saying is, if you post on the water that there's a pesticide or herbicide in the water, most people won't let their kids in the water or themselves. So that's what I suggested. They do it on the 10th. 5 days later is the 15th. They don't open until 23rd. And Debbie said, well, Dennis said, well, what about the 15th? I said, you add 5 to 15 is 20. I said, okay, but if you mess up and you don't do it on the 15th, you're done.
The earlier in the season, more effectively treating it, why wouldn't you? Get done.
Right,
That's
that's what I'm saying.
in May.
or the end of
Or
May.
even in
Right,
the May.
right,
Yeah,
correct.
Last week of May.
Right,
We should
but
be
for
able
the
to-
last 5 years, they've been treating it in June.
Yeah, no, I know.
Who's getting, Tom?
Well, Parks Department pays what Concom schedules.
Okay, so have her come in.
Right.
We'll discuss it with her, we'll get on the
Right.
same page with her for it, and we'll set up a date for next year.
Right, right.
She can set it up a year in advance with the company.
Correct.
And then set it up every year thereafter, we want it the last week of May
Right.
for. next
And
year.
what we also want is, our regulation says the Board of Health will be notified with the chemicals being used 45 days
I
ahead.
wanna know what they
The
do.
public will be notified by means of not the internet, but paper or reverse 911, 2 weeks before the treatment, and that's the way the regulation reads, so. It's time to follow a regulation, just because we have regulations, I swear no one else reads them.
I was told also in this timing measure, like this company, the companies are the ones that put the parameters out
Yeah.
in their agreement. Now, I don't see why there couldn't be a negotiable timeframe settled on to say that, you know, if you're saying that,
3
you
days.
don't want 3 to 5 days, or just say 5 days.
Right, and just
And
do it
everything-
early enough, so 5 days
everything,
doesn't
if
come.
you're gonna do,
Right.
fishing and everything in irrigation, 5 days, why not everything 5 days?
Right.
That way you better be safe than sorry.
So anyway, let's have Hannah Dillon at our next meeting, and if we can get the company to zoom in. The company aquatic biologist did send me a message. That, I'm that kind of person.
Yeah.
You're not a chemist, you're not a hazmat specialist. You're an aquatic biologist. Okay, so we have a little bit of common ground there, because I have, how do I say it, an ecology background. I'm saying that doesn't make, that doesn't, how do I say it? It's apples and oranges. You have no idea as an aquatic biologist, other than what it does to the plant. All the other parameters are set by supposedly, and this doesn't make sense. DEP doesn't set parameters for health and safety. DPH does. So the chemicals, when you read the MSDS or Global Harmonizing System, those are adopted by US EPA, Department of Public Health, Fish and Wildlife, and everybody. So I think if we just get the material safety sheets or global harmonizing sheets, we can look at it and say, great, it says, this could have an effect up to 5 days. Then what we do is we make sure, like Dylan just said, we can do, or Richard, we can do it at the end of May. Now, nobody has to worry about it. And actually, the hand spray thing, if we do it early enough, that 25th day after the treatment or whatever it is. No, it was it, right? They did it on the 19th, 6 days later. If you do it right, 6 days doesn't even go into swim season.
Right.
So I have no problem. We don't have to go out there with binoculars and go like, the minute the sheen comes here, everybody's out of the water, It's gonna be like shark sighting. Yeah. Maybe we get a shot to. Okay, that's it. So this was the,
That's it, there it is now.
yeah, okay, so.
Dylan, do you have the folder with the signing?
Yeah, actually, Rick, you have any updates for tobacco?
I do.
Okay, good.
I have a copy.
Okay, fine. So,
Alright, so far, I have started in the month of July, I have now done 13 inspections out of the 27. So moving right along, today was a long day, I got 6 in. I did a ride along with the state individual, and she kind of told me how to conduct the enforcement. She was very helpful, very knowledgeable. One of the things that we came across is our fine schedule. I said that we talked about at the last meeting, is 100, 200, and 300 for fines. Under mass law, we're not allowed to charge less than 1,000, 2,000, 5,000.
that's what I thought, but I wasn't sure.
So in your package tonight, I gave you the MAHB fine schedule that's required. We can't deviate from that. So I just want you to be aware of it.
We'll just make a motion for that, Rick.
Well, this is state law.
It's state law.
Okay.
When you said last time those things, I remember
It was in,
2019 where Robbie had said, and the state person came in and said, you have no choice, we have to do.
right, but it's in our rules and regulations
Right.
as 100, 200, 300.
So that
They
should
have to
amended.
be, yeah, they need to be amended. And the town clerk has to amend the actual rules.
She does, okay.
Because right now, we're at 27 licenses, but it still says 30.
Okay.
So I'm gonna talk to them tomorrow,
Okay.
just to make sure that we're all on the same page here.
Correct.
And we're gonna have to change it. So if there's a motion to be made, I can second it. Yeah, but we need to go
Okay.
by the fines. In our regulations.
Regulation fine.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, carried.
Okay, so that's,
So now we're at the 1, the 2, and the 5.
Yeah.
And we can amend our written regs.
Exactly.
Later on.
so I have now done, like I said, 13 inspections. I have talked, every inspection that I do, I now hand them a complete package of signage.
Right.
I've been told that some of them have never seen a inspector. And that's fine. No, that's fine. I'm trying to start out with, everybody gets the exact same package and the exact same things are being told to them.
Right.
And so far, every one of these 13 that I've done, very receptive
Very.
and very happy that I'm there telling them what they're supposed to do.
Right.
Okay. The second thing is we've ordered a laptop computer for me. Because in the office, I'm sharing computers with everybody around that are not in this morning.
Right.
Is that the Dell?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the Dell.
Okay.
I put that package together and from Dell itself was $1,400.
Okay.
She bought it at $700 and something dollars.
787.
Yeah, 780. So the other thing we did was we got me a complete desk package. That's paper clips, scissors, it just goes on.
So you have to borrow everybody else.
Yeah. And that bill is in here from Amazon, the tobacco expenses, $787.05. I'm working on the old tobacco agent worked with this tablet. It's not an Apple, it's an Android.
Okay.
And I have never used anything like this, so I'm still learning it.
Right.
And some of the programs don't function yet.
Okay.
And I'm dealing with the people in IT.
Right.
She's very nice,
Karen's great.
and we're trying to work this all out.
So was she set up so that we get the new Dell, she can transfer stuff for you and make it user-friendly?
She's, well, I'm not so sure it's gonna be user friendly,
Well,
but
we'll see.
she's gonna put on the programs that I've requested. I've requested Microsoft Office.
Right.
Pro, I've asked for Adobe, where I can create and edit PDFs. I've asked for Snagit. She can't get me that. She's gonna let me use the Microsoft component that does Snagit.
What is that?
Snagit is I can go onto a web page.
Okay.
Click the button and I get the whole web page and I can print it.
Oh, that's good.
Or if I only want a square on the web page, I can pull it off. Or if I want to do a Word document, I can pull out 5 sentences to email. It's just a program that I'm used to use.
Okay.
Everything that I have Permitize, which is the town permit system. And it also does the building permits, the zoning.
But the word guys is okay now, right? Because we had a hard time with, it was easy with tobacco, hard with.
Well, it's not easy with tobacco because it's not working so far on this one, but we're working on it.
Okay.
So right now, I'm way ahead, I think, on the inspection.
Perfect.
I do it 1 day a week, usually Tuesday. I started at 8 this morning and you have to put packages together for each one of them. And that took me 2 hours this morning and then I went right out and did the inspector.
Other questions here, have you went out with any other color, okay?
No, not yet. That won't happen until probably September or a little
You said you
later.
want to get all the education.
I wanna have everybody in got the education, all their signage is up, they understand what the fines are, this. And I told them that come September, I'm gonna do inspections with a kid that looks more than 21.
Correct.
And if you don't card him, you're gonna get shut down. It's pretty simple. Every one of them's very receptive. Every one of them said they card everybody that walks in the store.
Awesome.
That's all I care about.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'll get a kid from the high school. Who'll be able to walk in. He'll be able to walk in. I'll be on the top of my own car.
Right.
He'll be able to walk in, 5 minutes, he'll be out, we move on to the next one.
Yeah.
I could probably do 15 in a night.
Right.
I only have 27, so we'll do it in a couple of nights.
Now, when you do that, you just randomly pick pieces?
I just stop at each store.
Right, no, all of them get done.
Okay,
Yeah, I have a list.
okay.
And it's not gonna go from the north end to the south.
Yeah, no.
Still stop one end.
So the 13 that I've done,
Oh, perfect.
starts right across the street,
Right.
and it worked right up to Cumberland Farms.
Okay.
So everybody on this street, all the way up to Cumberland Farms is done.
Okay, good.
When I go out next Tuesday, I'm gonna be going down to Pulaski Boulevard.
Okay.
I'm gonna kill that one right down, there's like 9 down there. I'll get them all done in a day. I'll have the 27 done within another 2 weeks, guaranteed. Everybody's receptive, everybody's very happy that I'm giving them all this new signage. They're not happy because they gotta put it up, but they understand what I'm doing, what they need to do.
So they weren't getting.
No. And a lot of them had questions. I spent an hour in one place
Where
today.
does it stand?
Correct.
Well, they wanna know what the rules are, and they wanna know where that says it in,
Right.
you know, so, very receptive. I didn't realize how much work is involved in doing this, but I took it on and I'll continue to do it.
Right. Okay,
Alrighty,
so, health agent updates, I don't see anything there, but, Dylan, do you have anything? Health agent updates.
Not really, been busy, lots of perks.
Yeah.
Lots of septic, everyone's doing 80 dues, so those are coming. You got a perk that you wanna do?
No, yeah, how about the, guy with the whole,
oh, man.
Oh, aha,
no, not haha, I want to know.
no, I was gonna say, you reminded me, it was, so they reached out to me, that house with all the mold, they were saying that this contractor claimed that they went in, they remediated it, and I said, all right, well, I need documentation from an official mold testing company that says that the building has been completely remediated. That was the last time I spoke to them. I have not heard from them.
They're not gonna open that building up for rent until it's
Can we
completely,
send them a letter from the board?
I think we probably should,
Can we send them a letter?
yeah, just by demanding that we need a clearance report
We
from,
need- We need,
right, a mold company, that's
allow-
licensed, certified.
we allow the house to be sold.
Right.
Pending
Correct.
that this would be straightened out and what would be taken care of. If the mold hasn't been taken care of, not our problem.
Yeah,
No,
and with
we
this
don't-
humidity, it's
They-
what we call promoting,
People living in.
proliferate.
The problem that Dylan ran into
Right.
is this. The companies, that Dylan asked them for the information. And the company said, well, we've called companies to come out and say it's been remediated. The problem is the companies don't want to come out and do that. They want the job
I understand.
to remediate. So they're having a hard time finding a company that will come out and say it's clean.
Well, here's my question. If it's dirty, and I'm gonna use the word dirty,
Yeah.
okay, there's some mold growing in there. And we give them the go ahead, okay, you're right.
No. Yeah, I'm saying that Dylan ran into, that's
No, I know.
what Dave ran into. And what I said to Dylan during the week was, I don't care, they have to produce it.
Because God forbid the child.
So we're not gonna give them the occupancy
They don't get
permit.
occupancy.
Right, they
They're
don't.
holding back occupancy.
So at this point, Dylan he's working on it.
Right.
And they're giving him, not a hard time, but I understand what they're
But they
saying.
can't give them a hard time.
No, but I understand what they're telling them, that
Right.
the company don't wanna come out and just give them a slip.
Right.
They wanna come out and get the full job,
Let me ask a stupid
Who did
question.
the job?
The guy that did the
a
job,
contract.
the contractor that did the job, is he a qualified motor?
Probably not.
No, so
And
yeah,
that
just
being
recently.
said, if he's not qualified to do the job,
Correct.
and he doesn't have a license to remove mold, I think he's supposed to be licensed to.
It just started in Massachusetts.
If I'm not
Now it's a
mistaken.
license, just started actually, and the companies will have to be certified by the State Department of Public Safety.
I think where the miscommunication occurred was that they took on the project believing that the summation of the mold is entirely encapsulated in the attic. So, thinking they just, oh, all right, replace all the tiles that have visible mold and call it a day.
No,
That's not how mold works.
No,
it goes-
absolutely
it goes
not.
every time. I mean, I did my house.
But that's why I think the be all end all, which is where I left them, is just, you need to, I don't like, mean in the nicest way, don't care how you get it. You
Right.
need to get me a certified
Oh,
paper.
absolutely.
because
that
that
says-
person who certifies it is responsible.
I mean, right, we gotta stand on this as a. board.
Because she wanted me to,
Yeah.
they reached out to me because they wanted me to write a letter that said, oh, the contractor removed the mold, it's remediated, and I said, absolutely not,
Absolutely not. They really asked you that?
that's what they want. And I said, absolutely not, I am not mold certified, you need to get someone mold certified in there to 1,000%.
Right. And the Board of Health wouldn't supply that because, what am I saying?
Yeah, that's not my purview.
No.
Can't they call the state, if I'm not mistaken, don't the state have individuals?
Yes, they
Yeah,
just
we-
started licensing them, so they should have a list.
But I'm saying, don't the state have people like all these do,
Okay,
okay, let's say like yourself, you're the chair of the board. You should be certified in chemicals, if you know why, if I'm saying it that way, so if there's a chemical situation, we can send you out because you have a thing that says you can do it, so if somebody would need something from you that says, yes, it's okay, you'd be able to sign off
Right.
on it. I'm sure there's people that work for the state of Massachusetts, like we do with Smart, okay, the agency I deal with, that if we go out for a heating system or whatever, they follow up, even though we're certified and we do our job, and we're all licensed, they have a gentleman that comes out and visually look at what we did. So what I'm saying is, don't they have one at the state level? I would think that they must have a mold department.
I don't know, it's less than a month old, so you're gonna have to find that out. I saw it in a news blurb.
Okay, then my next.
I have to
question is,
adopt mold
if it's
certification.
only a month old, who used to, we used to do it before?
Well, before would happen, like, for example, the example you just gave,
In the town, in our town, how did we,
The way I understand it
Right.
is that previously what would happen is you would call one of the mold companies, testing companies. They'd come out, they test, they did a positive test,
Right.
and then
They
that
abate it.
company
abates.
would remediate,
Right.
remove it.
Yeah.
And then once they do all of the work,
Then they would
then
give,
they would test it again and provide a test that says, we remediated everything.
right, there's no mold.
It was all done as a third party previously.
My understanding with the letters and everything that went through here is that it was being done by the proper company. I mean, that's how I interpreted where we let the guys sell the property.
Yeah.
Because.
That was how I interpreted it too.
Yeah, but we didn't know a contractor was
I
gonna do
didn't
it.
know that I didn't know that.
No, we didn't know.
I knew that a
was
contractor was fixing the roof. I didn't know that the contractor was going to be the one that they was
No,
going to be,
No, I
remediating the mold.
absolutely
What I'm
not.
saying is though,
Did they determine it was strictly upstairs? In the crawl space or whatever?
It could be in the walls.
who determined? Who made the determination on the mold other than the people that were getting sick?
Well, the original report that we received when the whole thing started
Right.
identified that
Yeah.
there was
Yeah.
possible, that it was possible
Yeah.
that
In
it
the
was
walls.
in the wall.
She paid $750 to analyze that.
Yeah,
Homeowner,
she paid the
owner
third
should
party.
pay. She's paid.
So I gave them the contact for that same party,
Correct.
and I was like, maybe because they came here once,
They'll come back.
they'll
They
come
might,
back.
they might.
And then the other suggestion that I provided to them was, listen, at this point, you should be telling them that you have a Board of Health order that says I cannot rent this building out until I have a test that says I no longer have mold spores. Can you come out and test my property?
Right.
Because I guarantee that's gonna get someone out there faster than, I need my mold, I need it tested, I need it to save it
Right,
now.
right. They do have a board of health.
That's very, because it's the truth.
So that's what I'm saying, so if they were to call the state, does the state have people in place?
It's fairly new, but they
I don't
should
think
have a
they have
list. They should have a list already.
Before the state comes out with anything new, they put people in place.
Correct. They
Yeah.
usually do.
Before, when we became pipe fitters in the state of Massachusetts, before they, or sprinkler fitters or whatever, before they did it, they had their board and they had people
Correct.
assembled for it. So why don't we just tell this guy to
Right.
call either the mold company or call the state and ask the state what they should do. Right.
Yeah.
But I like your idea. If you can get the company that this lady hired, they'll get, for another $750, they'll come out, they'll make all the measurements.
See, and that's, I think, the other problem. They don't wanna spend the $750.
But that's not a problem.
That's not-
You let them sort
I
it out.
agree with
I'm not giving any excuses.
Saying-
I'm
I
just
agree
telling
with
you
you
what I think is
totally.
going on.
Yeah, they
Oh,
want.
absolutely. It's a financial.
And I think that all we need to send them a registered letter
Yeah.
stating,
Yeah.
this is what
This
we
is what we do.
demand,
Right.
but we are not
We
gonna
ordered it.
issue
Right.
a permit. The other one is that they're also going through the Title V stuff
Correct.
in their yard. We can stop that project too, if they don't get us the report.
I'm gonna hold that COC.
And I think at this point, that's what we should say in a registered letter
Right.
to the owners. This is what we're requiring you to do. We've been dealing with this now for 3 months, 4
We
months.
probably should have never let them close. That way they're able to afford, but the guy had no money.
No,
So he did it
Yeah,
backwards.
I'll let them take the settlement, bro.
But at this
they-
point, yeah, I think that's what we need to do is send a registered letter. This is what we demand of you
Correct, right.
as the Bellingham Board of Health. I'll make a motion to that effect if that's what you'd like.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, so carried. Okay. Yep. That way they're doing it, takes a little bit off, how do we say it? You having to have somebody call you, so, oh, the roof guy said there's no more mold.
Yeah, no, that is not gonna be good enough.
I go get the legal one and so it's.
Like the heart surgeon is the guy who works on my car, hey, really? Okay, whatever.
There's no more oil, we're in the ground, don't worry about it.
Yeah, right.
I make a motion that we accept the August calendar
Okay.
as written.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, so carried.
Okay, so that-
So we're gonna do back to old business for a minute. Home Depot discussion, dogs in a retail store.
I think I just have two things. I know you wanted to talk a little bit about it, but I can keep it just brief real quick.
Right. go.
So number one, this came up before, it's basically whether or not we should think about pulling their food permits for continually allowing dogs.
Who's that?
Because Home Depot.
Yeah.
Like, so they're considered a retail food store, they sell drinks and snacks up front. But if you sell any sort of food, you're not supposed to have animals on the premises. And Home Depot is definitely a repeat offender, so the suggestion that I had was, I think if we want to go that route, we need to have a representative from Home Depot here to represent them. And hold a public hearing, like a show cause hearing, as to why we shouldn't pull their permit, give them the opportunity to show cause. And,
How do we know that the dogs in Home Depot aren't service animals?
Well,
so there's two parts to that. Number one, the unfortunate downside of it is truthfully, the folks who work there, you're really, according to ADA, you're only allowed to ask two questions. Question number one, is that a service animal?
Yeah.
Question number two, what service does that animal provide?
they're supposed to spin it out.
And the
They don't.
thing is with that, you have to take their answer, even if you know.
No, I know, that's why I'm asking.
And so there are certain obvious tells. I mean, if they're wearing a jacket that says emotional support dog, that is not a service animal. Emotional support does not constitute as support. That is a therapy animal. That is not a service animal.
And the problem with that is mostly veterans with PSTD have emotional support animals.
Yeah.
Are you gonna tell a veteran get out of the store. I think we're really treading on bad,
Well, it's a lot of.
Well, and
I think that we're going into a direction here that's not a good one. If a person gets asked, is that a service animal? And they say yes, there's no other questions.
There you go.
And the people that own Home Depot don't wanna ask the questions to staff.
I was gonna say, you kind of took the words out of my mouth in a better way. I was gonna say, if we're gonna do this for Home Depot, we need to be watching every other store like hawks.
Yeah,
Well, we are technically.
We're really not.
Well,
In my opinion,
Right.
I don't think we are.
Okay, fine.
I have a real hard
Whoever
time
sits inside the tray.
questioning emotional support animals. I have a hard time with it because the PSDV is, it absolutely, happens.
I can think of one store that, actually, I'm not sure if they still sell food. But they sell liquor, and there's a dog in the store.
Right,
It's the owner's dog.
yeah, I know,
He brings a dog with him to work,
right.
and he takes him home.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Food outside.
I think we're getting into an area that we really don't wanna
Well,
tread.
the other question is, if the dog is running all over the place. It's not
Well,
a sport dog,
but that's-
it's not a-
No, but that's up to management at that
Right.
point, to
But
say
they're
to
not
the
doing that.
people,
that's a,
get them out.
But they're not doing it. They were told not to, actually, they told me that. Management says the people, yeah, and that really gets like.
At this point, I just think we're dealing with something that we shouldn't be touching.
I think, well, I think what unfortunately likely happened is because we live in a world where, and I don't perpetuate hypotheticals here, but, you know, we live in a world where people are aggressive, and they were probably, you know, these are young kids who are working first-time jobs, who are having grown adults screaming in their face over a young kid asking them to step outside because they have a dog. And I think what it really boils down to is it worth creating a scene and pissing that person off so much to where you got the latest, you know, Facebook reel happening in front of you at the Home Depot counter versus we just, to Rick's point, you ask them, if they give you the face value, you move on.
And I think
would
we
be-
could say that to them when you do an inspection. You could say to Home
Yeah.
Depot, listen, you really don't wanna have these things running around the store.
Right.
They should be a leash, they should be under the guidance of the person with the dog.
Right.
If they're not, you can question them, but I'm telling you,
Okay.
emotional support animals, in my eyes, is a major thing for the veterans.
Do you see dogs running around Home Depot? Because I frequent Home Depot and I don't see dogs.
Do you know something? I've been
I
at
see them on
Home Depot
basis.
400 times
I see 'em on basis.
since they opened. I've never seen a dog in there.
Well, I see dogs, I mean, they're on bases.
Yeah.
I've seen
I've seen them.
some that Vinny sent me pictures of.
But they're not.
They're not sports dogs and they're not service dogs, they're running around.
Regular
But
dogs.
they're not
I
running
think-
around.
I think-
Like this one guy, I told him, you can't have that dog in there, he has a 25 foot.
Yeah, see, the other thing is, Vinny, you can't tell people that when you're walking around.
Companies doing their
You
job.
can tell the manager, but you can't tell the person. That is not your function. It's like me walking in and saying, oh yeah, that dog, get him up.
I grabbed my cousin
Can't
German
do that.
Shepherd.
Well, there's a sign.
Took him out the one. Took him out, tried to go up.
Well, there is
I go to Home
a
Depot. I got my own leash.
And
Somebody
his dog is not
told
a
me
service dog.
That's service
So I
dog.
had the guy, dogs out with study because we sell food.
So if I'm a veteran and I walk in with emotional support animal, you want me to throw him out
I don't
if
need
I'm
to
the
tell you
manager.
why I need the dog. I know
That's what
the
you're
dog.
saying, and that's
Well,
where I think
Veteran
we're
thing, you just
way
said
over the
something.
line. That I think we need to put up with once in a while a dog in the store.
What about the food?
I don't think the food's open, number one.
I
don't
would
think
be
the dog's
more
right there where the
concerned
food is.
if we were having this conversation about Market Basket,
Yeah,
but
well,
we're having it about Home Depot.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean, Home Depot, I don't see a problem.
I've had it happen.
Well, like, you know what I'm
Market
saying?
basket's different. Now you get
If we were having a conversation about the
In
dog,
Market Basket, I have absolutely seen service dogs.
I have too.
But I've seen non-service.
I've seen the dogs in a little basket in the front of your kid.
And they're allowed.
Yeah.
Right,
They're carrying, the women are carrying these little dogs in the baskets and everything
Yeah.
like that with blankets in
Yeah.
the carriage and
Hiding it,
everything in
like
there in the
one
store.
Lady,
No, I was
Stop and shop.
comfortable.
no, but I had
Stop
one lady
shop.
once, she has this giant pop.
Listen, I'm just one vote, and all I'm saying is if the rest of the board wants to go for it, go for it.
No, I'm with you, Rick.
I just have a real problem with PSCD, but it's a valid excuse.
Now,
No, I'm not arguing that.
An animal.
But okay.
The difference with a service dog to a dog, that's why I asked the question, the dog running around in the store. No, the dog's on a leash. If the dog's on a leash, then you ask the question. There's signage is there that says you can't bring your dog in unless it's a service dog. So you're taking for granted that it's a service dog when it comes through the door. So now if you're a good businessman and it's somebody that you see once in a blue moon, you might want to ask the question. If it's a regular person that comes in, you see them there all the time and they keep the dog on a leash and the dog's not bothering nobody, leave them alone. Because if that guy comes from Afghanistan, I mean, that was just, it's a strange thing. What's help?
Thank you.
Okay.
What were we gonna vote on?
It wasn't
That
that
would
we
be-
were going to vote on anything, I think it was more so we were having a discussion whether.
Bring 'em in.
bring
Vote to do-
Whether we should invite them in and have a discussion of alcohol.
I mean, you can bring them in and ask them. I mean, if you want to, you can ask them point blank, why ain't you asking the question?
Correct,
People that are
like,
coming in.
When I asked two
I don't think
employees,
I'd bring them in, I think I would. stop.
And they're gonna say because corporate tells us not to do it.
correct, yeah.
I think I would go.
It's a
in there.
lawsuit waiting to happen. I'm telling you, it is in their eyes.
No, I mean, I would stop and
No,
ask.
they don't wanna get sued.
Well, the vet thing, and
My question is
dog
for you.
doesn't have a thing that says service animal, but it is a service animal.
I agree
You
with
question
you.
that person and throw them
No
out
problem.
because it doesn't say service. It's just a lawsuit. It's not a good, and it's not a good look for us.
No, no, it's service dog, not if it's for that.
So when they, like, if I brought my dog in, they asked me if it's a service dog.
And you say, yes, it is, they can't say nothing else to them. Or you say, no, it's just my pet.
They can
Well, then
ask
get
the
out.
dog.
I just don't. A real hard time with this.
See, I don't have a hard time with somebody asking.
And I think that he's right. It's a kid that's gonna be asking.
Right.
It's not gonna be the high manager who's
No,
up
no.
in the office.
Well, the kid ain't gonna care.
Well,
What if
but-
it's customary to tell them?
exactly.
Exactly, yeah.
I didn't wanna say that, but
Well,
that's.
no. Well, here's what happens. Usually you're supposed to follow what service does that dog provide. They go, that's not a service dog. You're supposed to know what that dog does.
What if I tell you?
And that's the key to the law.
That's my constitutional right, I can tell, I don't want to say what my problem is, my dog.
No, no.
None of your business, kid, get on my face.
Well, okay.
No, not being that irate.
No, I know.
Coming in and spent
But
3
you
years
know,
in
the state
Afghanistan.
does that too. They tell you, you know, that's your privacy. You
Absolutely.
Right,
can't ask
Right,
that.
right.
If they're disabled.
You know what? I
They can't ask you.
This table there, sit down with
It's
it.
sort of like this.
Okay,
It's
Right,
sort
we
of
know.
like this. A person has a handicap sticker inside their car.
correct,
They have a thing blocking the picture
correct.
because they don't wanna show that. And in mass law, you know, you could have a
Okay.
thing
Or it
blocking.
could
the
be
picture.
someone else's.
If I, as a police officer, go up to that person and say to them, I wanna see your permit, they point to it and say, there it is. I can't take it out of the car
Oh, no,
and
no.
look at the picture to make sure it's you.
Right. It could be like
That's, you're asking.
family members use their mother and father's
They do,
thing.
but I
But they-
cannot ask that
Okay, you
person,
can't, okay.
is that you?
But you can't ask them what the disability is either.
No, no, I would never do that.
In my opinion,
I can't even ask them to see the picture.
I think what it really
No, why
boils
they-
down to is if the
Because
dog
they don't want
is.
people to know. Yeah.
If the dog is eating food off the shelves, kick the dog out. If the dog is under control, like you said, it's muzzled or whatever, and it's not causing an issue, it's not barking, it's not attacking
Right,
people, it's
right.
not doing anything. In my opinion, as long as it's not like actively pooping on the floor or something like that,
Well, that's happened a few times.
I know that, but we're talking about hypotheticals here, okay? I'm just saying.
A dog peeing on the.
I would
Candy
assume that if a dog is getting out of control in Market Basket,
They take it outside.
Market Basket tells them to go outside.
Exactly.
Okay.
I guarantee they just don't let the dog run amok in the aisles, because if the dog bites somebody,
Yes,
The
the
law,
market basket's on the hook.
Well,
And then.
Home
they still
Depot-
want the law.
a child
They
that day.
wait.
No,
Be realistic.
mall, a 1.5-year-old child.
Going to shopping, but.
I respond, police department responded. The guy took off. I hate to say it, we were profiling, we were trying to find this dude. Anyway, we never found him, but I said to the person, here's our information. I said, that kid has permanent nerve damage. I said, you can own Home Depot.
I agree.
You know, but, you know,
Let's go get a favorite.
I wanna, make a motion that hazardous waste day is gonna be July 26, 2025, from 9 to 1 at Bellingham Middle School.
okay, so we're gonna table Home Depot.
Already did.
Okay.
We've moved on.
Okay,
Bill,
Bill,
okay, I wanna make a motion that we accept an Amazon bill for $14.27.
Second.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, so carried.
Okay, so let me start with you. I want to make a motion that we accept the Amazon tobacco expenses, $787.05.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, so carried.
Okay. I make a motion that we accept the Solomon B&A bill for $670.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, so carried.
I make a motion that we accept the Gill excavation in the amount of $26,750 for 171 Pine Street.
Payne,
It's a betterment alone.
Payne.
171 Payne Street.
Payne. What did I say?
Aye.
Oh, yeah, Payne.
Okay, second on that?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, so
Okay,
carried.
so that's this. Yeah, that's this.
None of that.
Okay, the
This
next
is
one,
different one, different
is-
devil in.
you did the Devil Lane stuff already.
Yeah, that should be fine.
Yeah,
I think Laura wanted you guys to just sign it again. I signed it
Okay, fine.
and approved of it.
Yeah, I mean, we said that, but if it comes to the board at the next meeting, that we can make it, how do I say it? It's on.
Yeah.
okay, I want to, plan review for 96 Ebon Road.
Second.
Okay, so we're gonna sign Deborah Lane, right?
I don't have Devil Lane.
Okay, fine. Doesn't need to say.
I don't think we do.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
it's
signed
an
off
Fine,
on it. You,
you signed.
you gave me the
approved.
Yeah, that's fine.
authority.
On a plan review, I want to make a motion, we accept 30 Stone Street.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained. so
And I
carried.
make a motion that we accept 86 Janine Road for plan review.
That's a second.
And that's these.
Okay, so one other thing, Dylan, for you and I to, decide, you can bring it to the board or I can. What are we gonna do with, infiltrator? Remember we said we were gonna.
Oh, you and I back to me, and I'll make sure they go this way.
Okay,
One of the
I have an idea. You're not gonna.
okay, good, okay. But I have an idea in there too.
We might even be thinking the same.
Might be.
All right,
Yeah.
I really say.
I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
Oh, and don't all jump.
All those in favor say.
Aye.
Aye.
Have a great night, Laura.
Is this
Laura, thank you.
Thank you.
I'll see you in the morning.
I got all the signatures.